In the game of life, you and I have to play many different roles. In my life, for example, I started off as a son to my mother and father. Then I became a friend to the neighborhood kids that I would play with every day during the summer. Then I became a student whenever I went to preschool, kindergarten, first grade, etc. A few years later, I had to become a basketball player whenever I took up the sport in the 5th grade. In my freshman year of high school, I became a lover whenever I finally got my first real girlfriend. By the time I turned 17, I became a rapper, a musician whenever I started writing music. And as I've gotten older and older, up until now, at the age of 25, I have taken on many more roles since. This is how the game of life is constructed. And in order to play the game of life well, you need to learn how to excel in every single one of your roles. And in this video, I am going to show you through my own life how to play all of your roles to the best ability you can, while maintaining your authenticity. Now, with that being said, if you are new to this channel, my name is Nathaniel Kanakal, otherwise known as The New Da Vinci. I'm a rapper, singer, songwriter, and investor out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I make videos on human nature, psychology, strategy, geopolitics, war, history, religion, all of the topics I am fascinated by and have been studying for 10 plus years, because I have found that everything connects to everything. And it is my goal in these videos to share my insights with you so that you can develop your own unique viewpoint on life, and so you can stay away from the cults and prevent yourself from falling into the hive psychology that has dominated the 21st century. Now, with that being said, how do you play your roles in society well? Well, for starters, I want to discuss a quote by the great writer and philosopher Franz Kafka. And I'm going to paraphrase it, but he roughly states that I realized life was a masquerade party, and I became ashamed when I showed up with my true face. Now, what he's describing here is that life is a game, but even more so than it being a game, it's a costume party. It's a party that's constantly raging with various actors and actresses coming in and going out. And inside of this party, you have all of these actors and actresses putting on different masks, different costumes. And these different masks, these different costumes represent the different roles in your life. And to further elaborate on what he's detailing here, why he states that he was ashamed to show up with his true face is because he was unwilling to play a role. He was unwilling to adopt the characteristics of a particular role in society. Now, if that's confusing to you, let me explain. Let's take my life for an example. Whenever I am on the basketball court, I have to adopt certain characteristics in order to make me the best basketball player I can be, to be the most competitive I can be. Some of those characteristics may be ferocity, may be the willingness to trash talk. I may have to adopt more of a physical attitude. I have to be able to throw my weight around, to bump and to push. And I have to bring out even more energy than I would normally have in my day-to-day interactions, while also being incredibly vocal and a little bit animalistic. That's because basketball is incredibly competitive. It's a physical sport. It drains you physically. And in order to be a competitive player, you have to be in a competitive state of mind. You have to adopt characteristics that make you more competitive on the court. However, if I was to go talk to my parents and be the little boy that they raised for years and years, I wouldn't want to bring those same characteristics to the table. I wouldn't walk into my parents' house whenever they were cooking dinner and start body checking my dad and my mom. I wouldn't start trash talking the cooking. And I certainly wouldn't want to shout and scream across the house. There's no need or place for that behavior in that environment when I'm playing that role. And what Kafka was unwilling to do was play these various roles, to adopt different characteristics for different situations in life. And that's why he felt so ashamed, because he realized probably too late that if he would have done that, his life probably would have been easier. Now, you may be thinking, Nate, what are you talking about? You've made videos on authenticity, on how to be your most authentic self. Doesn't that seem a little contradictory? Now, on the surface, it does. It's a fair point. But let me explain where this all ties in. Look, in your life, you have various roles to play. Whenever you're with family, you have to act a certain way. Whenever you're with your friends, you act a certain way. Whenever you're at work, you act a certain way. And whenever you're playing sports or doing a creative task, you have to act a certain way. And for most people, this is incredibly confining. It feels like they're jammed in a crowded room. They can't breathe. They're claustrophobic. And that's because they're allowing the roles they play to dictate their behavior, rather than looking at the roles they have to play and shaping the behavior of that role. Now, what I mean by this is that you need to look at every single role you are playing. Look at the characteristics and behaviors that go with playing that role, and then integrate those characteristics and behaviors within your authentic character. This is the idea of becoming a Renaissance man or a Renaissance woman. My name is the new Da Vinci, and I get the inspiration from Leonardo da Vinci. It's because he was a Renaissance man. He had multiple skill sets. He was a sculptor. He was a painter. He made war machines. He drew plans for planes. He studied birds, and he was a drawer. He could do all of these various things. He had all of these various skill sets that he put on his tool belt. And in order to play the game well and be the life of this costume party we all participate in, you need to develop multiple personalities. No, I'm not talking about a psychotic split. I'm talking about developing different characteristics and qualities within yourself and putting them on your tool belt. You need to develop the capacity to be empathetic. You need to develop the capacity to be incredibly ferocious. You have to develop an incredibly disciplined work ethic. You have to learn how to become an incredibly passionate lover. You need to develop great oratory skills, being able to speak well. You need to become a really great listener. You have to get more comfortable with physical touch. You have to develop a risk-taking side to your character, being willing to go out on a limb, to take brave and bold maneuvers. All of these various traits and characteristics will create a more developed total character. And once you have that developed total character, you're then able to pull upon the various characteristics and traits you need for all of the given roles in your life much easier. And once you do this, whenever you go into work or whenever you see your family on the holidays or you go hang out with your friends at the bar, you're not only going to feel more comfortable in these situations, but you're going to get better feedback from the people involved because you're playing the role to the best of your ability. You're an A+ player. You're a 5-tool, a Swiss Army knife player. And that's because you've mastered all of these different traits and characteristics. That's how you stay authentic while playing the roles that life requires you to play. Because the unfortunate reality is you can't be like Franz Kafka. Acting out of touch with certain roles in life makes you look psychotic. It makes you look strange, and it will push people away from you because most people are simply sheep. They do not want to take in new information. They don't want to deal with strange and exogenous characters, and they want to go about their day-to-day lives with as little friction as possible. So if you come popping up with some crazy out-of-touch behavior, these people are going to feel frightened. You are going to set off alarms in their head that are telling them to stay away from you. Instead, what you want to do is what I previously discussed. Develop this total character. Work on all of these various skill sets, being a great lover, being a great communicator, being a great listener, being ferocious, being kind and soft and gentle, all of these different characteristics, so that instead of being brash and bold and unapologetically authentic, where you're basically just a bull in a china shop, you're able to more smoothly navigate the crowd. And if we take the party example literally, you're able to play beer pong with the jocks, you're able to smoke weed with the stoners, you're able to gossip with the girls, you're able to throw football outside or play basketball in the driveway, you're able to dress up with the people that are incredibly colorful and bold and vivid. You're able to do it all. And that's because you've developed this total character. That way you can wear the different masks in life that you have to while still remaining authentic, while also being able to subtly influence the people around you because you're not setting off alarm bells in their head telling them that you're a threat. Now, I hope that all made sense, but if it didn't, of course, comment. Let me know what you think. If you have any questions, please ask them of me because I will either reply directly or I will make videos discussing those questions in particular on their own. And if you gained value out of this video, like, subscribe, comment, share, whatever you want to do, I appreciate it. And with that being said, much love, peace. It's the new Da Vinci. I'll see you in the next video.